Welcome inside the low tunnel. I've crawled inside today because it's pretty cool outside. It's the end of the day and I don't want to open the fabric off completely and let all the heat out, because I want the heat that's in here to stay so that all these plants slowly cool down tonight. And I think it is going to get under freezing, but if they slow down, if they cool down slow enough, they have enough time to pump the water out of their cells and so they won't die. Now that said, we did have some damage. You can see behind me that kind of terrible looking stuff back there is some cauliflower, and the broccoli behind it. It looks pretty rough. So at some point on a nice warm day, I'll get in here and clean up, pull out some of the anything that's not gonna make it, pull off damaged leaves. But some of the things that are in here that are even more like the most frost hardy, like this curly kale, it looks great. Look at it. Oh, I'm gonna pick some of it to take in the house. There's some cilantro in here that's looking so good. Cilantro is always one of the first things up here. The Brussels sprouts are making it. They have some damage from the freeze. You can see the end of that leaf got frozen when we had really cold weather, but they're producing baby Brussels sprouts. I guess they're just Brussels sprouts, not babies. So we'll have some Brussels sprouts pretty soon. So all of these plants you see that are green or browning behind me are plants that we planted, we grew out last fall and put in the ground last fall. So they grew last fall and they've just been surviving in this low tunnel all winter. And so it's let us eat fresh greens, and we haven't had broccoli or cauliflower, but I planted it thinking if the timing was right and if it made it through the winter, it would give us really early broccoli and cauliflower. We'll see. It's an experiment. I don't know if it's gonna make it. But yeah, we've been eating greens, we've been eating kale, chard, spinach has all made it, collards made it through the winter, we've got cilantro. And then my hope is this spring, as the days get longer and things start growing again, we'll have some really good early greens as well. And that brings me to today's seed, bunching onions. So I'm gonna plant these bunching onions. In this side, you can kind of see like this edge is clear, and that's just because I planted a little crooked when I planted, and it worked out well because the kids like to crawl through here. But I'm gonna take a section right here and plant these bunching onions. And so I'm just gonna scratch the soil up. I've already started. Eat this Brussels sprout. I've got some compost. I'm gonna put that down. And then these bunching onions are super easy. They're green onions, right? Let me hold them close so you can see them. So I'm gonna plant these here in the cold frame where the soil will be a little warmer sooner. The temperature will be a little warmer. So in the spring, they should just jump right up and go. Since they're bunching onions, all you need to do if you plant these is make a little depression and then plant a few onions. Like the seed spacing is 1 inch and the seed depth is 1/2 inch. So I'll make some little groups of like 5 to 10 seeds about 1 inch apart, and then just cover those up, and that way that'll be a bunch. And then in the spring, I can either cut the green part off. It's kind of coming down on me. I can either cut the green part off and eat the greens, and the bottoms, the whites, will grow more leaves, and then we can harvest the white part of the onion later, or we can pull the whole onion out. We can also transplant them around. Now this seed I did go ahead and inoculate with the mycorrhizal fungi, and if you don't know about that yet, I would love to tell you about it. It's in our post from yesterday, so seed 46. I explained the relationship that onions and mycorrhizal fungi have. A really cool one where the mycorrhizal fungi, they get sugars from the plant, and the plant gets water and minerals from this soil fungi that goes out into the soil and brings back water, makes more nutrients available. So let's see, you can see this little patch here, right? Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna probably make maybe every 6 inches, make a patch. And again, I'm gonna try to leave a little space for kids to come through here, because they will. And then I'm just gonna drop in 5 to 10 seeds And this is an estimate because if it's a little off, it won't hurt anything. And I'll show you these seeds as well. I hear somebody coming. They might be looking for me. Okay, so here is what the onion seeds look like. Some pretty small little seeds. And one thing to know is when you are planting onions, you do want to make sure you have fresh onion seed. Onion seed doesn't really have good germination after about a year if you have it at room temperature. And then in a fridge, when it's dry, it can last about 3 years. So, all right, I think that's enough for today. We'll be planting more onions, I'm sure, throughout this season. One of the things I'm really going to try to do this year, which I should be able to do because I'm doing this plant a seed every day challenge for myself, but one of the things I'm going to try to do is do more succession planting. So some bunching onions this week, bunching onions in 3 weeks, lettuce, not quite time for lettuce yet, but just every week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, plant some of those things that you could eat about every day. And that way I have this succession of delicious food. Hooray. Okay, so I could water this in the fabric that we're using called Agribon. The rain comes through it and we're expecting some rain. So I'm gonna let the rain we're expecting do the watering. And then we'll see how they do. So if you want to follow along, we are planting a seed every day this year. And so you can follow along on our Facebook page, Gardens That Matter, facebook.com/Gardens That Matter, or on Instagram, where I think we are at Gardens That Matter. And I would love to share this journey with you. If you have ideas or questions, send them to me, because now that we're getting closer to the garden season, we're going to be doing more videos here on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll post them everywhere to help answer some questions that you guys have. So head over to gardensthatmatter.com and you will find a place to ask that question, and send us a note via one of the social media channels, and we'll keep an eye on those as well. All right, until I see you again, happy gardening. I'm gonna crawl back out from under here.